The very latest in the world of business, local trade is expected to firm after a mixed end to yesterday's session. The JSE made gains on mostly positive U.S. data, while the rand ended pressured as healthy signs for the U.S. economy support the dollar. But has since changed gears. Bianca Botes, who's the executive director at Citadel Global, joins us now to talk through these and other market-related news. Bianca, very good morning to you. Thank you for your time. The rand is trading firmly below the 19 rand mark. Talk us through some of the factors driving those gains and whether or not this level can be sustained.
Good morning to you and your viewers at home. Unfortunately, we've actually seen the rand weaken just above the 19 rand mark again. We're currently trading at about 19.01. And this is following that robust economic data that you mentioned earlier, as well as the ECB monetary guidance yesterday. The rand remains under pressure as the dollar index flirts with about a 5-month high. And we are expecting volatility coupled with a subdued rand to remain intact until such a point where we actually get guidance from the Fed to say that they are now approaching the end of their rate hiking cycle and that they are now looking towards actually starting to decrease rates in the US. In addition to that, we are also seeing local factors weigh on the rand, such as the fiscal position that's been quite a contentious matter over the past couple of weeks, as well as the extremely high levels of load shedding we are currently experiencing.
Oil prices are up so far today and set for a third weekly gain. What's driving those moves?
The WTI crude futures are currently trading at the highest level since November last year, amid expectations of a tightening global oil market, which basically means that demand is likely to exceed supply in coming years. The International Energy Agency projected a significant market deficit through the fourth quarter of this year. And the Organization for Petroleum Exporting Countries, or better known as OPEC, also expected a large deficit of about 3.3 million barrels per day for that same period. So those supply constraints are actually driving oil prices up at the moment.
Economic activity, Bianca, slipped in August as business and consumer confidence levels continued to weigh on sentiment, reflecting the considerable pressures that have been put on the country's growth prospects. What does the latest print, mining, manufacturing tell us about the health of our economy?
So local manufacturing production increased by 2.3% compared to the same period last year. However, even though this is the fourth consecutive month of growth in the sector, it was at a slower pace than what markets initially expected. So that shows us that there is actually a flattening of that production. South Africa's mining production saw a 3.6% year-on-year decline and marks the largest drop since February. This drop is largely attributed to unreliable power supply in the country, coupled with a decline in global demand. The economy continues to feel the pinch of the electricity crisis that obviously we urgently need to resolve, coupled with sluggish growth from key commodity consumers such as China. It's all weighing on the local South African economy.
South Africa's Reserve Bank is set to announce the latest interest rates decision next week. Knowing what we know now from the economic data we've seen, what is your prediction?
We have seen quite a bit of strain on consumers and households in South Africa grappling with the increase in living costs. And we will most likely see the Reserve Bank keep interest rates on hold for the second consecutive time. However, we can expect the SARB to maintain a hawkish stance, meaning that they will keep rate hikes on the table should economic data and upward pressure on inflation dictate them to intervene. But for now, we are expecting them to keep rates on hold, but they will likely not indicate an end to the rate hiking cycle yet.
Very well. Thank you so much. Let's leave it there for now. Bianca Botes, Executive Director at Citadel Global, giving us a sense of how the markets are faring.